You cannot ban me. All right, we're live. We're live. All right. So basically, um, we're just gonna start demoing off the Zero KO. This project's been going on for a while. We started with Devil KO, and that was, I mean, super ambitious and not too ambitious, but definitely overly ambitious for just one person to try out. It's been a year since then. We went through another board called Nostalgia Board to do all the retro consoles, kind of like Brook Retro Board, but with a little more features. And and now we're doing Zero KO because chips are hard to get. It's been really hard to purchase chips to get going for production. So now we're just gonna release with this. I managed to get around 100 chips when they briefly came on stock, and that was expensive because they're more prices. They're pricier than usual now. I got them the next day. They were gone. They're zero. So I've used like 100 chips, or I bought 100 chips, and I've used like maybe 10, 12 for prototyping. Hey, thanks for the follow. Um, so I'm only doing 50 for the Zero KO pre-order because I want to have some chips in case during testing they don't work, and I don't want to promise something that I can't deliver. So 50 is like the cap for this, one per customer. And that's it. So I'm gonna just start showing you the board itself, and let me see if I get the camera angle in. So here it is. It's the board. Let me get the focus in, right? Focus, focus, focus. All right. Do you want to just like take over the gamepad thing?
Yeah.
I think that's the. There you go. All right. So hopefully you can see that okay. So there it is. There's the Zero KO. The angle. Right. So it looks just like a Brook board, just like on the manual and how everything's been tweeted out and in social media. And it's kind of like a blue color, but after I bake it in the oven, it's kind of dark because it gets a little not charred, but the solder mask doesn't work too well with our oven, but it's still good enough for the solder to melt. So we got here. Oh, it holds better. Yeah. So there you are, the USB port. Just like another Brook board. There it is on the side. It just shifts in the bottom. You got your typical ports. You got your player LED. You got your touch, left thumbstick, right thumbstick, and you got your turbo port right here. And this port is not on other Brook boards. I just kind of put it on there for convenience. This is I guess right now I'm going to call it the powered lever port. And basically what this is, it's just the same exact inputs as these. So that right terminal is the same as the 20-pin right, and as this one over here. So no matter what, you have a spot to always choose. So if you're using this terminal for whatever and you don't want to use this, you don't got to use this. But this is good for devices like optical boards, or the Odin, or like the Loki, anything where you want power but also want to have the directional ports. Yeah, it's a lot of ports. There's a lot of JST ports here, and believe it or not, JST ports are super hard to find too. So I'm stuck trying to find equivalent JST ports that are not exactly JST, but they work well, and there's a ton of them. I bought so many just to see which ones are not junk and which are junk. The black hole, yeah, I would love to make the black hole a reality, but the chip shortage is kind of killing me still, and I have other projects I'm trying to get done, like this one. So that's basically it. That's the powered lever port. You got these ports here, and I don't know if you've ever seen the other Zero delay boards. But they used to have these ports here too. They had, what do you call it? They had the USB port here, and they had a PS2 port, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 port. And basically, they used to have this cable. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, want to try to go to too? Background music? So they used to have, see here, so this is a cable you could buy on like AliExpress or wherever, but the Brook Zero Pi, they have this port too. I guess they're trying to be like similar to the Zero Delay boards, but no one seems to sell these cables, and they say it's hard to find, but it's not that hard to find. I found them within like 5 minutes of searching. So you would just take like this port here, and that's the PlayStation port, and then this port here is a USB, and obviously you get a USB port too. The only thing that sucks about these cables, I bought like 10 of them and 3 were not that good. They were fairly cheap, but they were also they also didn't have a good turnout, so I'd have to filter them out if I'm going to stock them. We're also trying to put lo-fi on, so in the background, so if it's too loud, let us know.
It sounds loud.
Just cut it down a little bit then.
Oh. I don't know where
Oh, wait, you just go here.
No, I know, I did that.
You did? Yeah.
There we go.
That should be okay. Yeah, let us know if the lo-fi is way too loud. So yeah, you'd use this kind of cable, but also in the manual that's still being made. It's almost done. It's just it's like 95% there. It shows you how to wire this all up and all the pinouts, and even the back of the board too. If you're savvy with the pinouts for PlayStation, you can see that I have them all labeled. So even without a manual, you could make sense of it if you found a diagram for PlayStation. Alright, so that's basically what those parts are for. You got your... Alright, so this is going to be weird. So here, this is pretty typical, right? You got your left stick, directional pad, your right stick port. And I found out on Brook boards, they're... what are they? They're 0.1 inch spacing. And I don't know why, they're all different, so they didn't make them pH. So I kept everything mostly the same in terms of size and terminal location and all that, but I wanted to stick with pH because the Jst Ph Terminal, because what's the point of having it all different? Also, I needed to squeeze more functions on there, so I kind of benefited from that. Very nice touch with the the wiring info in the manual. Yeah, that took forever. You should have seen me and Steph. We're both like, how are we gonna do this? This is too much information. And the more we wrote the manual, it got to like 10 pages, right? 20 pages, 30 pages, 40 pages, and we're like, we definitely need a table of contents. So we tried our best to make the manual as concise and organized as possible. If it's too much, let us know and we'll try to dial it down. But I don't know. Whenever I use a manual from Brook or somebody else, it's good. It works. I can get through it. But a lot of people who are getting into modding or getting to fight sticks or anything with like video game electronics, I mean, I was there too. You need a lot of hand holding. You need a lot of information, and even if you are savvy in making stuff, it's just nice to have every single bit of information. And on the plus side, if someone has a question, I could just say, go to section 3, chapter 2, whatever spot in the manual. So it's just way easier for us too. So yeah, this is a Jst Ph Terminal, and it does what you think it does. It's the left stick, D-pad, and right stick selection, so you can just ground the RS terminal, the LS terminal, and it'll act like a stick. And I'll show that. I'm going to show all these terminals, or most of these terminals working pretty soon. This port here, that's called a lock port. And for those of you who are not familiar, a lot of people want to use tournament mode, they call it. And that just really means they want to lock out start, select, the home button, all the side buttons, like all the side buttons, like over here and over here, because they don't want to accidentally pause during a tournament, or they don't want to press on that button during a tournament, and because you can get disqualified. I know when I'm playing Smash in a tournament, if the tournament organizer doesn't properly configure the game so you can't press start, and you do press start because they just messed up, you can get disqualified, or the match will gotta start over. I want to just lower this lo-fi smidge.
Yeah.
So that's on there, and it's usually it's you gotta take the grounds and kind of make your own like separate ground and switch it in, and there's a harness for that, Focus Attack and other places sell it. But instead, I decided to make it a little simpler, just a little JST port here, where you just short the two terminals and you can just lock it out through software. So I wrote the software and the firmware to keep looking for this port throughout every single button pull. So when it does see it, it'll just you press start, it'll ignore it. You can still press start. It's just that by the time it gets to the end of the loop, it'll say, well, what's locked out? And then it'll say, well, start, select, whatever. And it's all based on the console. So I have a lock port on there too. That's what this does. Let's go to this expansion port here. So if you notice, this is an expansion port. Is that, huh? Oh, thanks for the follow. I didn't even notice it. I was so involved with like explaining stuff. But yeah, thanks for the follow. So this is the expansion port. I don't know if you've noticed in the past, the double KO and the nostalgia, I had an analog port in there, and some brick boards they have like a way for you to attach an analog joystick like your thumbsticks, and it has the button input too. So initially I had it in there, and it's not bad, it works. It's just that from talking to people in the community, specifically Big Red Pimp and Bat64 on the Fight Sticks Discord, they were playing a lot with the analog joysticks, and they were telling me that they're all not intercompatible. So like the Sanwa JLM, it has its own centering for voltages, and compared to using like an analog joystick, because it's just the pots in there. And then there's other joysticks too that are analog in nature, but they just don't work, right? Because if you plug it in, it's off-centered or the voltages don't match. So I said, I wonder if it's just easier just to like make a generic port. At the time too, I was thinking of adding an LED controller in here, like an RGB LED controller, like a Kaimana. And what happened was, I was thinking about it more, and I was talking to the person who makes the LED Spy 2.0, Blueberry Custom Controllers, and I got the idea of instead of having an analog port, I can have a generic port. Kind of like, a USB port is like generic. You can plug in like a mouse or keyboard or whatever, and it just knows what it is. And I wanted to emulate that. So say for example, somebody makes like they want their Sanwa JLM to work. So they can go ahead and make their own little circuit, make a little breakout board. They can interface to the JLM. Once they figure out the JLM and how to grab data from it and how to do all the filtering, you can take all of that data, bundle it up. Hey, thanks for the follow, Toon Wolf. You can bundle it all up, use like an API I have, and you could send all that data to here. So instead of having raw voltages, you're literally sending data to my board. So you can like press buttons, you could read button states, you can see what console's being played, you can see the SOCD mode. You can do pretty much anything, because I can make the command for that to happen. And for the LED Spy, that RGB button controller, or the RGB LED controller, Blueberry Custom Controllers, they're using that port to actually read the button input. So for example, if you press like 1P, they'll take 1P and they'll react to it, make reactive lighting, and then it'll just like do whatever effect you want. If you were to do that without this kind of port, you'd have to wire to the 1P. If you want it for 2P, you gotta wire to 2P. You gotta have like a whole adapter, which they have for Brook boards. But for our boards, you can just attach this communication device, like a generic communication device, and you can just grab data and send data, and that's it. So you can kind of do pretty cool things. So you can do things like LED controllers. You can do analog joystick input. If you're familiar with the Xbox adapter controller, you can do like you can kind of do like a co-op or a co-pilot mode. I was playing around with like some code a few weeks ago where I can read data from an SD4 controller, and then I could pass it through to the board and then go through USB. So if I have like an SD4 emulator, I can plug in my pad into my stick, and then my stick will act like a big converter and actually send off the USB command. So you have a lot of room for imagination for these kind of ports. That's what they call expansion ports, right? You can kind of just do whatever you want with them. The API isn't fully ready, but I do have 2 people who are using the API, just kind of like here and there to see how it works, but it does work. And you have 2 ports. So there's one port, and then that's another port. So you have 2 expansion ports. And I think for like nostalgia and for DKO, I can probably have like 3, 4 maybe. It depends, right? Because I have a pretty big chip here, and a lot of the cost is in the chip. And yeah, it's big and expensive, but you can do things like this, so it kind of adds value to like a product like this because you have more I/O. So that's these ports here, right? These here, so the Brook Pi Zero and the Zero Delay boards, like some of them, they have the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 port, right? Which is this over here. I decided to add. I had extra I/O, so I decided to add on N64 and GameCube. So if you look at the back here, where is it? Right over here, N64 and GameCube. Okay, so you can just in the manual look it up, see how to wire it in, and I'll show an example. I was playing around with it. I'll probably demo that in another video, but so you have like a cable. So here's one end, right? I didn't have any JST 3 pins, the PH ones, so I just took one of my my LED cables and I just chopped them. That's why you see kind of like cut over here. And then I wired the other end to a GameCube dongle or plug. So all you gotta do is just plug it in. When you power it up, just choose GameCube and it'll work like a GameCube controller. And same thing with this one here. Here's an N64 plug, right? Yeah, exactly. I MacGyvered it up. And that's it. And I didn't test all the way with the power input, but I did make it so if you plugged in like the N64 plug into the GameCube port, or vice versa, nothing should happen because I have protection diodes on there. For the GameCube, if you look at the manual, I use 5-volt rumble voltage line because I just want more power. And if you plug it into the N64, you might blow it up, right? Like blow up here or the actual console. So I put some protection in there, so you shouldn't have to worry. So those are those ports. And then you got your generic 20-pin harness. The last thing I want to talk about is the terminal block itself. So if you look at it, it looks pretty much the same, right? But there's one small difference. If you look at, let's see if we get the angle here, right there. Typically it's a ground, right? If you look at a Brook board, that's a ground. This is 2 grounds there to help you daisy chain. So that's called SH, and that stands for shift. I was looking through the Fight Stick Discord, and some people wanted to add a shift button to a Brook board, and they were asking how to do it. And people were giving their inputs and how to make it work, and it involves a lot of wiring. So I kind of said, oh, that's a good idea. I should probably try to adopt that. So I made a shift input instead. So by default, if you look in the back, let's see here. So if you look here, right, there's a solder pad here, right? And this solder pad here is for shift, and the one over here is for ground. So when I ship these out, when pre-orders come in and I start stocking them, when they're shipped out, they're going to be configured as shift. Because you have many ground ports, you can choose whatever you want, right? You can just stuff 2 grounds into one terminal. If you don't want it as shift, because you're using like some sort of adapter board from another product and you need to use those screw terminals, just desolder them and solder on the ground. And if you look here, right, I actually have 4 other buttons. So if you look on the other side, here it's still right, left, up, and down. But if you wanted to, you can actually use alternate auxiliary inputs. So let's say, for example, you have like say you're using the HID joystick mode, and you want to use, it has like 40 buttons or 32 buttons, right? And you want to use other buttons for shortcuts, for like loading and saving and stuff. I can configure that to be that kind of button, or you can map it yourself to do whatever you want, and you can control that. Or let's say you wanted to do like a feature like a certain feature where you would hold a button or a stick or something, you press a button again, it would do something else. I can do any kind of mode I want with that. I put those in there more for future stuff, so if anybody wants to give me a suggestion on what kind of feature it should be, I'll just program it. We'll take a vote, we'll ask around, we'll see what it should be, and then I'll just program it in, and then just solder on that terminal, wire to that terminal block, and now you use it for whatever. And that's really it. I kind of just put this as like a generic button input because I had more I/O, so I don't want to waste I/O. I paid a lot for the chip, right? So I kind of want to use it for something. And actually, it helped me out in the end because you'll notice. So this is Rev C, right? You'll notice this wire here. I had a weird hardware bug where if I let the controller sit for a while and I press the home button, it would just disconnect or freeze. And I had no idea why. And I was going back and forth with the code, trying to figure it out. In the end, I said, I don't know what's going on with the code because I think it's more on what the chip vendor has given me. And I can't control that easily. So instead, I just borrowed one of those auxiliary inputs and I bypassed the home pin, like the pin on the actual chip. And it works great now. So I guess I'm just going to like nix that I/O and then just rewire it slightly for Rev D. So I don't have to do this weird hack. And you're not going to see this in the final revision, this little like, this wire. If you do, I messed up, but I don't think you will because this is Rev C. Rev D should have it all hammered out. So that's why you'll see this little trace here. And you'll probably see it if other people do like YouTube reviews, you're going to see that little wire there. Just note that it's definitely... It's definitely not going to happen in the future revision, or it shouldn't. And but if it did anyway, right? It's still out of the way. It still works functionally, but you'll still have the control of the auxiliary input. So that came in handy at least from a debugging point of view. That's almost everything. So let's just finish off the top. So you'll see now you'll have these little like white rectangles, and those are RGB LEDs. So if I plug one in real quick, let's see. If I plug that, there you go. So you'll see that they're just LEDs. Yeah, lots of work put into this. You solve a lot to get here. Yeah, Professor Laser, a lot has gone into this. And it's funny because some people will say, well, what about PS4? Where's PS4? And I'll say, don't worry, we'll get there. Give us time. Right now we kind of have to get like the groundwork going. And so definitely the chip shortage was bad, but it definitely helped a lot because we were forced to kind of think, well, what else can we do? And a lot has gone into it. So you'll see it, right? You turn them on, you'll get RGB LEDs on, right? And what's cool about that is I've been kind of inspired by a lot of people's fight sticks from their artwork and the acrylic sticks, and even the lighting mods. They do a really good job. People do like a really good job, and a lot of it is the artwork. So I said, well, it'd be kind of cool to decorate the board too. And I seen people 3D print stuff and kind of put things around the terminal blocks of the board, or do their own kind of like artwork to it. So I said it'd be really cool to just to give people like a way to mount their own artwork. So here's an example, right? So that idea came when the nostalgia board came out, or was being prototyped. This is laser etched. I don't have one for 0KO, but for this, you can mount 4 screws, the number 2 screws. It'll come with it. It'll come with a blank piece of acrylic, not etched, so you can put your own artwork on there. But here's an example of one etched, right? So now you can actually kind of just etch your own thing, put like a black piece of paper or some artwork underneath, and you can kind of make artwork pop out. You can like score it yourself, the acrylic, and you can make your own kind of art. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of just express your stick to reflect what the board should look like. And to change the color of these, I have a few designed preset colors. You have like, I think it's like what, 12 or 14 colors. So like for example, so when you turn the stick on, these will turn on, right? But you can't change the color after it's on, because it's kind of like already set. You're not going to be changing the color dynamically. It would also kind of add some input latency. I don't want to deal with that. So what you would do is you'd unplug it, and then here, right here, you can use these dip switches to change the color. So if you look here, like that switches up, that means blue. So there's 4 switches, right? So I have 16 combinations. And yes, you can actually turn this off. So for example, if you turn this down, right, and now you plug it in, you probably hear the ding. So I heard the ding, right, that it's connected, but there's no light. So somebody did ask for setting to have it turn on, but there's no LEDs because I guess people want kind of like an optically quiet stick. They don't want any lights going on or distracts from their other kind of mod. I don't know, but I can understand that because I've had like like back in the day VCRs and DVD players and I was still using them. They had like a light on when I was a kid and they're super annoying. Or like we used to have like clocks on. Like we have a weather station here and it's so bright we have to like push it down because there's no off like light button. So same thing here. You can turn the light off. You have like all kinds of colors. So you have the primary colors, right? So I'll show you the primary colors. So here's red. And it's funny, I have these memorized by now for most of them. So like here's red. Looks orange in the camera, but it's red. Right? You got green. I'll show green real quick, and then I'll show like some mixed colors real quick too. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of just like whatever theme your stick is. If you're doing something with like a green background or whatever, you can say, all right, I should have a green LED. Or say for example, you're doing like you have like a purple, like you ever seen those bat tops that are kind of like purple magenta look? You can put magenta on too. It's like those mixed primary colors that I have available. That's white. Magenta is, I think this is magenta. That's magenta. You can't really tell from the light if you look at my hand reflection. See? That's magenta. That's probably me a popular color. People wanted magenta a lot for the LEDs. So yeah, so you can kind of just you can customize the face of it and the color of it to reflect your artwork in the style of your stick. And I think that's everything, right? I covered the switches. Oh no, I have one thing left. Okay, so this was asked from actually Cool Bear, for a retailer. He actually said it'd be nice to just have a quick set SOCD cleaning switch. When should we expect these views? Well, it matters more on. So they're definitely ready, other than the one rep change for the home button to be changed to work the way it's supposed to. I'm thinking that it's gonna be like end of January when the pre-order ends, because like we kind of want to raise the full amount. We want to get 50 units or close to 50 units, so it's easier to manufacture. If you're doing like 10 or 15, it's okay, it'll work, but we have to buy a lot of parts to get the cost down, because we have like a certain threshold. So end of January will probably be the pre-order ending. And then I would say sometime in February we can start delivering it.
Mid to end February.
Mid to end of February, yeah.
We'll open the pre-order up.
Yeah. We're gonna pre-order the pre-order up in like I would say maybe a few days, maybe even tomorrow. Tonight, I don't know. It's like 9 o'clock already Eastern time. We'll try, but tomorrow. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so I think delivery would be like February. And if you do happen to pre-order after this, when you see the page up, it's going to be $50 for the board. So that's PC, which is like D input, X input, HID joystick. You can still use Switch mode on the joystick. PS3, I think you could do on the joystick too. It does GameCube, N64, and PlayStation 1 and 2. There is no PS4, PS5 firmware update in the future because I haven't figured out a way to bypass the encryption or a legally, I guess, legit way to do it. Or even a cheap way to do it. Because I could do it now if I just lifted chips, but I kind of want to find something more elegant. So yeah, $50 for the pre-order. Final retail price is $60. And I know it's kind of high compared to zero delay boards and to Brook Zero Pi board, but I feel like with all the features that I threw in there and the manual and the support you'll get, I think it's not bad. I don't think it's a bad deal. I think people are pretty happy with it. But yeah, we're small. So we're really small. We're trying to like crack in and wiggle into the market. So it's kind of cool because it's us and the Pico Fighting Board people are trying to crack in. So we're both trying to crack in. They're cheaper, but I think that we have more features.
Mm-hmm.
So good job on the Plex to the board. Adds another thing for people who have clear tops or cut out. Yeah, thank you. As long as PC works, I'm okay. Yeah, PC works. It works great. You'll see it. You'll see the demo pretty soon. Seriously worth it for just the extra port and the lockout button.
And it comes with the plexi too.
Yeah, and it comes with the plexi. And the lockout button, yeah, a lot of people just hate messing with the harnesses. It'll help people try to win the sticky, right? for better wiring. I think it's a great price considering everything. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that because some people are kind of like, it's too much money, and some people are like, no, it's great. It's a great price. So I'm getting mixed reviews, but I think after it kind of makes its way through like reviews from people and YouTubers and people trying it, like for early adopters, I think people will warm up to the price, and it's a lot of work. If I show you, maybe later on down the road we'll show like one being built from start to finish. It's a lot of work. These are all hand placed. So all these components, this board here, these are hand placed by me and Steph. I feared a $190 for base. No way. There's no way it's $190. That's way too much money. No. I mean, it'd be great if I could justify that, but I can't. It's too much. That's too much. I'm trying to make like a fair profit here. And I'm doing it by hand. That's my fault, right? We're doing it by hand. That's our problem. We're going to figure out how to make it more automated in the future. And hopefully, as we make more products, maybe we could buy like a $25,000 machine to make it ourselves, and to help maybe other people who are making accessories for this or other kind of like FGC related what do you call it, like devices. So we're trying. But yeah, these are all hand placed. So these are screened by our selfless solder paste, hand placed. Then hand soldered for the through-hole components. This is completely from scratch, right? So like the parts are obviously, some are domestic, some are overseas, but the assembly is here in the USA. We did it. Will the pre-order go up on your Discord? Yeah. So if you go on our Discord, there's a channel called Rolls, and on there there's instructions. Just react to the emoji on there. Just click. I think it's a joystick. No, it's like a computer.
Yeah,
for PC stuff.
PC.
And just react to it. You'll get updates like firmware updates and all kind of stuff. Pre-order more than one? No. It's limit one per customer. I don't want people hoarding this stuff. I hate scalpers and I hate hoarders. In the future, yeah. Okay, for example, let's say if I throw the pre-orders up and I get like 23 or 24 or 25, right? And if it seems to kind of die down, I'll entertain more than one for a customer, but it's going to be it has to be like 25, right? Because if somebody wants two, then everyone has to have the opportunity. Well, let's say it's like 26, you can't really do it. Could I get an invite, please? Yeah, Steph will invite you. Thanks for putting in the work. You too. Love the blog post for the dev work. Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. We're gonna get more blog stuff soon. But this would take a lot of time. So you'll notice that stuff like blog posts and like restocking, a lot of our cash and time has been put into this project. So it's been kind of affecting other stuff, but we think it'll be worth it in a month or two. He's trying to take my. If you don't get enough orders, I'll get two. Yeah, don't worry. If it's kind of lower on the pre-order side, we'll reach out to people that pre-ordered. We'll just DM everyone. We won't make it public, obviously, because it'll kind of make things complicated. And we're gonna have cables too. So we have a good source for like a 10-foot USB cable. I found a source for a 20-pin harness. I found a source for what do you call it? For like the lockout kind of stuff. So I'll be making partially by hand. I'm gonna drink a water real quick. I'm like, my non-streamer lungs are killing me. I don't even smoke. Whew. Yeah, let's see. What color is the board itself? Blue? Yeah, it's like a dark blue. So when I get the boards in, it's like a light blue. But then when I bake them in the oven, it turns like a dark blue, which is actually I'd rather have it that way because it kind of like doesn't distract from people's sticks too much. So like I was saying, this switch here, right? So Cool Bear actually asked for like an SOC switch mode. So basically, that's what this does. So there's three positions. All right. So if you go all the way down, that's like your standard SOCD. So left and right cleans to neutral, up and down cleans to up. Excuse me. If you go up, that's last input. So last input for both X and Y. And then the middle, I actually managed to fit all of the remote configuration for Magicians in here. So I'm actually able to serve the PC or the console that I'm emulating, and I have the SOCD cleaning of Magicians. So you have 16 different SOCD combinations. So you don't need to buy a Magicians to use this, right? At $35 or $39 or whatever it is. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just buy this and it'll just work. And I'll show how that works. It's a little different than Magician in terms of configuration, but I think it's a little bit easier. And right now it all works for PC. I think I have it implemented also for all the consoles. I think I did. I gotta check Discord. That's like my little diary for updates. Alright, and that's it for like the overview. So let's just let's try it out. The one thing I should note though, when you do get the board, you'll get one of these stickers. Steph traced them out. She's getting better at graphic arts. She's like doing it on the side. So there's these little holographic stickers, like that too. They're pretty small. So you can just put them wherever you want. It's kind of like the Intel Inside stickers, but you can kind of just put like 0KO and then put whatever you want. Could that even be made to do the stuff that Butterkid Antagonist is doing? Yes, technically it can, through doing the the auxiliary inputs. So I don't know if that'll be in this board. I have to ask Buttercade if I can work something out with him. I don't want to just implement a feature that somebody else creatively made. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I mean, I guess legally I could, right? But I don't want to. I want to be friendly. I don't want to like just take someone's feature. So I'll work something out. Maybe I'll try to work something out with Buttercade, and he can test it too. It may not even be possible from firmware point of view, right? Maybe it takes too much latency. Maybe it's too complicated. But I think it's possible, and I'll speak to him about it. I'll speak to Batura about it. Yeah, that's cool. Just more value potentially. Yeah, so it's kind of funny, right? The value kind of compounds. It's $60 retail, but after the pre-order. But you might see more firmware updates, and anything non-encrypted will be worked on. So the Double KO console list, just look at that list, and like for example, the Neo Geo Mini. From what I understand, it's not actually encrypted. So I can speak to my firmware help that does the USB side. I code pretty much 90% of the board for all the peripherals and the feature like SOCD and whatever. But I have someone helping me with the USB firmware. I coded the N64, the GC, the GameCube, and the PlayStation 1 and 2 myself. But I haven't had enough time to learn USB, so I do have firmware help for USB, which is good because if someone has some sort of problem with maybe latency problem or like a connection problem with like let's say a USB mode, I can just talk to that person. They're a phone call away. We can work it out. They'll fix it, and that's it. They actually make a library for me, and I can actually just implement the library. And it's all made from scratch because there's no code base for this chip that I'm using that has USB mode. But yeah, all right. Let's see what this script here is.
Oh, yeah.
The schedule. So I'm looking at my little schedule cheat sheet because this is so much to go over. Right. Okay, so let's just plug it in and put on GamepadTester.com.
He is cool.
John is mad cool and would most likely work something out with you as far as the antagonist-like feature. I hope so. But he's awesome. He's helped us. He's helped us a lot in the beginning, like understanding like the niche a little better. And it's funny. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, and I got into electronics by modding an original Xbox, like putting LEDs in it. And I had no idea what I was doing at the time because I was still like in high school. So it's funny to see a full circle go around, like go back all those years of studying and through like electrical engineering work to come back and offer something that younger me would have really appreciated. Any updates on your multi-console board? The update on the multi-console board, the DKO, I guess, right? The update, the DKO, I don't know because so all the work that DKO was put into, this board actually has benefited from, and all the work for the retro console side, the nostalgia board is benefiting from as well. So when those two boards are fully released and they kind of got a very consistent firmware going, then we're going to take all the profits from nostalgia and 0KO, and we're going to go and attack the encrypted consoles. Like I mentioned before, we don't know if we'll get there. We're just trying. I didn't think we'd be able to get this far with 0KO. I mean, I intended it to be that way, but it's kind of, you know what I mean, right? I expected it, but at the same time, it's like, I can't believe it's already happening. So, yeah. But the update is if it goes well with 0KO and it goes well with nostalgia board. I do have some sources to help me with the PS4, PS5, and Xbox 360 and up. Because actually, Xbox 360, the actual console, that controller is also encrypted, which is funny because I was working with the firmware engineer that is helping me, and we're both like, why is this giving me weird results? Only to find out it's encrypted by 3DES. It's like a certain encryption algorithm that the NSA used to use, and they protected the controller with that. So, yeah, we're looking into it. We don't have a hard date. We're trying our best to make that like the end all be all. Hopefully that was a good answer. Oh man, yeah, I put LEDs in the dongle and the controller for that. Good times. Yeah, right. Going to llama.com or xboxscene.com and like, oh, what can I do next? Yeah, it was great. I love doing that stuff. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll be overtaking Brook before you know it. I don't know. People say that Brook's very big, and as much as we're competing with them, they do make good stuff. You can't knock them for that. Like, they did manage to bypass PS5, PS4. They do have insider info somewhere on how the encryption works. Maybe their parent company helped them out. I don't know. They have a number of resources too. So, as much as I would like to be friendly with Brook, kind of like how I'm friendly with Buttercade and the Pico Fighting board people and Omni Arcade, and kind of like work together. They're a bigger company, so I don't know how much I'd be able to work together. Maybe after the nostalgia board and the 0KO release, maybe we'll get more street cred from them, and maybe they'll license us some of their code base to make the encryption work. I don't know. Maybe they might see us as a threat. They won't even do that. I don't know. I like to get along with everybody, so I always try to make sure everyone kind of coexists the best I can, because I mean, there will always be people who will kind of like fight you on stuff or compete with you, and that's fine. That's just the nature of business. But I think in this community, since it's so niche and so small, I think we're all better off just kind of getting along, because if we just get along and we work together and everyone has their fair piece of the pie, everyone can make a profit, either for fun or for a living, in my opinion, and the community benefits from a lot of nice features, right? So it's better to have more than one company doing stuff, and if they all can kind of get together, cool things can happen. But that's just a pipe dream. Maybe I'm just too like naive. I don't know. So let's put this together. That's in there.
Maybe change the focus a bit too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change the focus of it. Make sure this is together. That one turbo wire. There it is. I don't have a harness for some of these ports. Hey, thanks for the follow. Tricera quack? I don't know. Oh, Tricera quack, like a duck, like a dinosaur. I don't know. So I'm kind of like repurposing some of the harnesses to do things they're not supposed to do. So right now I have the it's like the L3 R3 harness hooked up as a turbo harness because it's the same size, but I have the voltage off because I don't want to short anything out. So I'm being really careful. So bear with me here. I don't want to ruin one of the only two prototypes that I have with me in my possession right now. So I got this here. And turbo. And that should be everything. Focus it. Whoa.
That looks good.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Just gotta twist it.
Be careful, you twist it a little.
Yeah, that's why.
That's good.
That's not bad. Let's see. At the very least, it seems like you'll automatically become the go-to for people trying to customize, mod anything, and building add-on extension products. Yeah. So even though the 0KL seems limited, the expansion port products like the analog joystick adaptation boards or the pass-through pad boards that I can make or anyone else can make really, or any other kind of things like you saw the Pico fighting board people, right? They made the OLED add-on for their board, which is really cool. I could make or someone else could make something similar but circular for a button port, and you can it's kind of like those Fitbit screens, but you can kind of tap on it and it shows you heart rate and calorie count or steps. Same thing, you can tap this and it can tell you what SSD mode you're in, tap again. So I can see things like that coming into existence. Junk Food Customs is a smaller company, and Brooke actually worked with it on the Smackbox Micro. They created a custom board for it. That I'm aware of, yes. So you might be able to work with them sooner than you think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's a little different, right? Because Junk Food is they're like a controller maker / case manufacturer. So it's kind of it's a good marriage there, right? They're very symbiotic. It's kind of Alpine is talking to, or Bose is talking to Ford saying, hey, you want to put my speakers in your car? It's like that, right? Brooke and I, or Brooke and us, it's like Toyota and Nissan saying, hey, you want to make a car together? And they'll be like, no. The Hot Crit, thanks for the follow. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I definitely don't want to obliterate or try to obliterate a company because I think it's better off just working with the company. So, we'll see. Hopefully. Right? We'll see. So, now... The way it's defaulted now is that it's going to work on X input when nothing is pressed while it's being plugged in. Alright, so now it's X input. you know, you took the Let's input just to show everything. Is it?
Ooh.
Where'd it go?
There it is.
Am I connected?
What?
Am I connected? I think it's like freezing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the window for gamepad tester. It did find it, so definitely like. Hey, you want to do? Unplug it, and then replug it again. It might have been messed up too from Tekken, right, earlier?
Probably.
Yeah, something else weird going on with this.
Maybe it's my ad blocker.
Are you ad blocking? Yeah, let's try unplugging and unplugging again. It's definitely like your computer acting all weird.
I know.
Yeah. You know what you do too? Try, it might be like linked to my other controller. Here, use this one. Use the second board I have. See what this does? Cause that one works for sure. No, I think it's like it's not working on your thing for some reason. Try going to the Windows one. Here. Let's try doing it.
Yeah, no audio.
No audio? Oh, okay. Oh wait, it's back on now. Steph.
It's kind of glitching a little bit.
Yeah, it's glitching a little bit. I think your computer's getting hot. Let's put the fan on higher.
It's like turning things on and off.
Yeah, it's like turning things on and off. That's probably why it's not working on Gamepad Tester. Do you want to try opening Chrome?
Yeah, maybe. Do you think it's working now? No.
No. I think Mozilla's taking a crap.
Alright, hold on. Let me do that first.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Something weird's going on with the sound. Sounds okay, but we're trying to make sure that because the board is recognized by Windows, but GamepadTester.com isn't showing anything. So we're thinking Mozilla's maybe crapping out.
My computer is hot.
And the computer is super hot. So I don't know if certain things are just not working well right now. There you go.
Ah!
All right, so Chrome works. So let's switch to Chrome.
Oh no, that's not it.
Is that Chrome?
No, it's Mozilla.
I think you gotta like double click on that.
How do I change it?
That's the game one.
No, this is.
Just add a new one.
Yeah, I had to add a new one.
All right, 1 second. We're gonna change Streamlabs to show the Chrome window instead, because Mozilla for some reason just wasn't like working to see GamepadTester.net. Was NoScript on? No, we don't have NoScript on enabled. Computers start messing up. Maybe you need to reboot. We wait. All right, yeah. If you guys are patient, that's cool. And if you gotta go, we have it all on recording, so you can always look at it later. We just didn't have it on this long for a while, and we made sure to turn Steam off because that thing will like blow up your computer if it's on too long. We even have like 4 fans blowing into her laptop. Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah, I closed out.
And then you gotta choose the.
Oh,
yeah, there
I
it
did
is.
it.
Click on it.
Hold on.
If you need to cut the stream till you figured out what's going on, it's fine. I think it's okay because we're about to do it, and it's just a matter of putting the window on. So here, hold on. Let me find this out.
The one that's hidden is the Mozilla one.
This one?
Yeah, that's the Mozilla one that I closed out. And the one above it is the new one.
Alright, I think we got it.
Oh, because it needs to do the
Chrome, right?
yes.
Alright, I think we're.
You just have to make it.
I think we're about there. Yeah, sorry about that. Mozilla just totally took a crap. You're touching the game though.
Did I do?
That's the game one.
No, because that's a screen capture. That's the one that's not even working anyway. It was a window capture.
Yeah, that one. No, you're in alert box.
No. There's so many different things.
Just go down there and click it. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
There
we go. Stream noobs. All right, so let's unplug that controller. All right, this one, right? All right. I think we're back. That's good. Plug it in?
I did, yeah.
All right, cool. All right. We're back. All right, cool. All right, so while she's playing with that, you'll see, there's your left, there's your right. And actually, let me just put it on magician mode, which actually it already is. So you'll see that right now it's cleaning last input, and then up and down. Same thing, last input, right? And you got 1P, 2P, 3P, 4P. It's up a little bit. Yeah. 4P, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K. You got here select or back, right? Start, select, home, which you actually can't see because it's on a different screen. But if you look at my camera right now, like on my face, I'm pressing home and it's putting the home like window up and making the light go up and down. So you guys just take my word for it. Home works. So the home's there. I don't have L3, R3, or touch hooked up right now, but I have turbo hooked on, so I'll show turbo first. And you'll notice too, the player LEDs right now, it's set to PC. So if I just really quickly show you, like, can you unplug that real quick? But hold on to it. Alright, so it's not plugged in, right? So just look at the LEDs here. If I hold like K2, which is like I think N64 or GameCube, to plug it in again. So they have two LEDs on, right? So that'll tell you what console you're playing with. Obviously USB doesn't work because it doesn't know what it is, right? It's not working. Unplug it again. Hold like K1 again. And now player 2 is on. So all of these are just different like console identifiers. Like kind of like the Pro Retro board, it tells you what console's running the player LEDs. Same thing here. Let's unplug it. Okay, and real quick too, we'll just run through the consoles for USB. So if you want to choose like the HID, D input, switch, or PS3, you just hold one of these buttons. So I'm gonna hold P1 for example. Plug it in. So you'll see it, right? It's like controller, standard, gamepad, vendor, whatever. Which is pretty funny. It shows different in Mozilla. So I think Mozilla and Chrome, they kind of like display the information differently on that API. So unplug it. Now K2, plug it in. You have another vendor, so unplug it. And I think I don't know if K3 has anything. I'll try K3 next. Plug it in. Yeah, it's different also, and it's all the LEDs that are on. I think that one's switch actually. I think that one's switch. PS3 is not coded yet, but since the input, X input, HID works, switch works, it's just a matter of working with the firmware engineer that does the USB part of it. Excuse me, to implement PS3. So even if it's not done when you pre-order, it'll be done when you receive it, or about done, and you could just do a firmware update. So it's all working there. So unplug it, and we'll go to X input. Yeah. All right, so we're back to X input. Okay. So now, if you look here, right, we're cleaning, right? Last input. Let's say I want to clean everything to be neutral, right? So the way the Magician works, it has like a weird, you gotta hold all the arrow buttons, and then you gotta like hold it for a certain amount of time, or something like this I put. This one's a little simpler. What you do is you hold all of them. If you look, pay attention over here to the lights over here. Right here, the magenta lights. I'll try to bend it over a little bit. So you see the light there, so maybe if I put this here. So they'll actually turn off. It's a visual indicator to show you that you're in like a configuration mode for Magicians. So what you do is you hold all of them. I think it's home. That's home. You hold all of them, and you just tap the home button. So you tap it. The light turned off. You select something. So I'm going to select neutral mode. Right? It turns back on. So what happens is you hold all the arrow keys. You tap home. Once you see the light turn off, or you just trust that it's off because you didn't hook up anything else, because the player LEDs will in the future turn off in tandem with that, along with the RGB LEDs. When it turns off, you have 6 seconds, or about 5 seconds really, 5 seconds to choose from 16 combinations. So I hit all 4 of them, right? So that should clean to neutral now, see? So you see, now they're clean to neutral. So I do it again. I hold all of them. I tap home. Should turn the light off. Turns it off. I'm gonna pick like 2 random ones. Okay, it's on now. So now it looks like it's last input, and this one is clean to neutral. So I changed the SSD profile just like you would with Magicians. I'm gonna go back to last input, which is no buttons being pressed. You wait like a few more seconds. The light's back on. Now you have last input for both axes, and that's it. You don't have to do anything crazy to change the SSD mode. I know for like other boards in the market, you have to like do a little like jumper, and you have like standard and last input. This one's Magicians built in, so just hold all 4 of them. I'll do it one more time. Pay attention to this light over here. Hold all 4 of them. Press home. I'll put it on just neutral. Hold them both. Okay, there you go. So now it's neutral, and before it was last input. So that's the whole SOCD mode. I do have the turbo button hooked up, and I think the turbo one is I think it's which one is it? This one here. So for example, here's 1P. I'm gonna show turbo now. Here's 1P. Hold down any button you want, which is 1P, and you press turbo, and then that's it. You just made it turbo. I don't know how Brook does it. This is how I'm doing it. And the way it works is that the code actually kind of it goes through a loop. It reads all the buttons, applies all the configuration rules, and then sends off the information to the console or PC. And it does this over and over again. For my turbo code, I didn't know how to do it really. So in the end, I made it toggle every other. So it would send off, like, 1P is pressed, and then the next loop over, it'll say, guess what, it's released. And it'll do it over and over again. So basically, you're truly getting every other button pressed to be released or pushed. And you can do it for as many buttons you want. So here's 2P. It's hard to see it. There you go. Yeah, the gamepad tester doesn't show it like very periodically. It just shows it kind of whatever. So if I press 1P and 2P together, they're both turbo. If I press these buttons here, they're not turbo. And you can make them all turbo. And I only do it for the action buttons because I don't really see the point of having turbo for start and select. So now if I press them all, you get a whole controller dance rave. They're all being turboed. And the turbo LED does work. I don't have it hooked up, but it'll flash it, it'll pulse it, so you'll see the button states along with the LED. And the way we're going to interpret that with our eyes, the LED, it's like a pulsating LED. Then you can turn them all off. There you go. They're all. No, these are not. These are still on. Yeah, this is still. There you go. Now they're all unturboed. So turbo port works. Which console does this work for? All of them. They all work. Because I actually do have enough time to react to the GameCube and the N64 and the PlayStation. I do remember testing it in Resident Evil. I had Leon Kennedy doing something weird with his gun. He was twitching. It was really funny. So it works for everything. It works for every console. What's that?
The turbo.
Turbo, yeah, turbo works for every console. And if it doesn't, it's a firmware update away. It's gonna work. That's it for turbo. So now, the next one to show. So you saw the SSCD, you saw turbo. I'm gonna just switch the port out. And you saw the LEDs for play LEDs. I'm gonna switch it out for L3, R3, and touch. And touch doesn't work for X input, right? Actually, touch doesn't work for a lot of consoles. And I think even the Brook Pi, the Brook Zero Pi board, I don't think touch is even shown. It might be wired, but I don't think it's shown anywhere. So some protocols that don't use touch, I remap the touch button to be shift. So I'm going to show that as well. So we took off this unpower. Can I unplug it for a second?
Yeah.
I'm going to unplug it so I don't mess with power. So I'm going to unplug that harness, stick it in there. And then I'm going to rewire up that one pin. Like I said, I don't have all the harnesses, so I kind of have to play I could do wiring gymnastics. You plug it in again. Alright, so I think it was these buttons. So here you'll see L3 and R3 working. For some reason on Gamepad Tester they don't show it on the thumbsticks, they just show it on as generic buttons. And then I'm pressing here, I'm pressing touch here. Touch doesn't do anything, right? But for this board it does shift. So if I press 1P, it's 1P. If I hold down the shift, or the touch button in this case, which is, where is it? This one. So here's touch, doesn't do anything. If I hold down touch and press 1P, it's start. You see? So 1P and touch, or shift. So now you have you have the option to put only face buttons on, and maybe put a buttons up here somewhere or on the side, or just don't buy as many buttons. And it's now a shift button. So if all you care about is just enough to navigate menus, you can use that, and it works for other buttons too. So I have shift here, that's start. Shift and 2P it's select. shift and 3P is home, and you can't see it, but you can probably see the light on my face from the computer screen dimming and brightening up because it's a home screen. So you don't really need a home button, L3 or whatever. All you need is touch or the shift button configured on the board. And that shift/touch button, depending on what protocol you're on, it's probably going to be a little different function, but you should be able to shift on every single console with the shift terminal. It just so happens on this protocol, I just happen to have a touch button, and I made touch button a shift button. So like I said, that was an idea somebody had in the Fight Sticks Discord, and I decided to try it out, and it works pretty well. So I can just, So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a cool little feature. So we did that. The last thing to show is the RSDP and the LS modes. And Professor Laser, dang, wonderful. It'll work great on my 6-button stick. Yeah, 6-button plus 1 shift button. But yeah, no. So if you want to like save some money on buttons, you can kind of just not buy it and then just put a shift button. And I guess you would also want to have a lockout switch, which will also lock out shift, so you can't actually do anything with that. It's your choice, right? It's configurable. So actually lock and the direction stuff. So now if I get what's that wire? Again, I don't actually have harnesses for these yet, so I'm gonna use a wire I have from the LED cable, from the player LED cable, and I'm gonna just short the 2 terminals of the lock port to show the lock feature. Alright, so it's together now. So now, if I press 1P and all of them, 1K and all of them, it works. It works fine, right? But now, if I try to touch like start and select, nothing. If I try doing shift in 1P, shift in 1P, nothing. It's locked. It's a software lockout. So there was no harnesses, no grounds. It's just 2 pins on the port. Now if I unplug them, right? There's the home screen. There's start, select, and now if I hit shift and whatever, it works again. So that's the software lockout, and I mean you can't really tell the lag exactly from looking at it, but there is no lag. It's 1 pin. It takes it so fast. The chip is running at like 168 megahertz. It's like you'll never notice it. And the last thing to do is the LSRS and the DP. So right now it's in DP mode, right? So now if I go to that port here, and you'll see now I shorted RS to ground, and now if you look at gamepad-tester.net, it's the RS, the right stick. And actually, I do have the SOCD cleaning rules applied to these as well. So it's probably not very useful, but if for some reason your game needs to have a stick, it has the cleaning rules for that as well. And then and left stick. So yeah, just to demonstrate that it works. So someone says, it doesn't work. It works. It works fine. It's also proof to me that if I mess the code up like later on, and I go, it doesn't work. Did I ever get it working? I just go back to the video and be like, yeah, it works. It's for my own sanity, really, which is why I have like a diary in Discord saying I did this, I did that, and everyone else is just an audience at that point. All right. That's the lock port, that's the LSRS port. I think that's all the ports. I didn't demonstrate the expansion port, right? Or like the powered lever port because it's just a regular input. Yeah, that's everything. I mean, I can do like real quick the where are the tweezers? Oh, you know what? I can do this. Like for example, power loader port. It's the same thing. So if I just like, yeah, see, same kind of inputs. Nothing's different. And you know, if I just pressing a random terminal block, they work too. So everything works. That's shown, right? So that way, if you decide to pre-order, you can be confident this works. No, but seriously, it took a while. Like all the features you kind of take for granted. Like, oh, it just switches the mode of the stick. But like, I don't know. I'm not a firmware expert, but it did take me some time to structure all the inputs and the outputs so that it doesn't. They all play nice together. That makes sense. And I think that's really it. If you guys have any questions, I guess now would be a good time. If you have additional questions. If not, I'm gonna fire up Tekken 7 and play like maybe 2 or 3 matches online just to show you how it plays in real time. I'll use X input mode. Yeah, just so you can see how it's going. I'll put like the or Steph will put the what do you call it? The widget that all the streamers use. So you can see the joystick in action and all the buttons. So you can see me blushing action like nuts. Like, oh my god. Yeah, just unplug that one around. Yeah, so I can like get it out the way. I want. Last thing I want to do is blow this thing up. Oh, there's the fuses. Yeah, that's it. Honestly, not too long. Like an hour and 16 minutes. Let's hear Yoshitmitsu. Not Yoshi, Yoshitmitsu. Has the GC input been tested on a Wii? No. It's been tested on GameCube. I've been working on so on Double KO when I first coded the GameCube. It wasn't working on the Wii or the Switch adapter. I did change it for the Double KO and it worked. It worked on all consoles. Since then, I've actually changed the protocol, like how I handle the protocol. So, so the way it works now, or before, it took so much time to emulate the GameCube protocol. It's actually a really challenging protocol to emulate because it's so fast. It's like 1 microsecond of just pulses, and it's really hard. And your chip is just constantly looking for signaling. Since then, I've used a different technique. It works so much better. It's like flawless. And I've gotten it to work on GameCube. I don't know if it works quite yet on Wii, but it shouldn't be much more than like a speed change because the way I have it now, I have to like the logic doesn't change. The only thing that changes now is like how I change the speed. But rest assured that whether I use the new method or the old method, it's gonna happen. It's gonna work on Wii and the Switch adapter. And actually, I would like to stream again. Maybe like in a few days. I want to make sure the code is up to snuff for the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and for the GameCube and N64. And I want to just show it working for that as well. For all 3 systems, for the Switch adapters, for the GameCube, all that, because I want to have like a history or recording that it does work. So short answer, yes. Long answer, you just heard it. Okay, thank you very much for answering. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. And like I said, if there's any kind of problems in the future, if you find a weird glitch or a weird like situation where it disconnects, just let me know and I'll make a firmware update and that's it. All the hardware is done. The hardest part was getting the hardware working because you can't change hardware so easily. Once they're shipped out to your houses, I can't be like, can I just see it back real quick? Gotta resolder something. That sucks. I can't do that. So a lot of time was spent to make sure all the hardware ports and the features were in its place before even entertaining a pre-order. And I mean, as you can see, it's pretty much it's there. I did all the ports except for the expansion, but it does work. And that one little wire, I just gotta change that up in Rgb and it works. One note though, for SOCD cleaning for any console, for USB it's different. I have it on a different kind of scheme, but for consoles, the controller will disconnect when you're configuring the SOCD. So let's say you're playing like Soul Calibur, right? And you're choosing like Keelik, and you want to go to Sophidia, and you feel like last input for Sophidia is better. And you do the whole changing. It will disconnect. Sometimes the game will show a disconnect, sometimes it won't, but it'll disconnect. But once your SOCD configuration load is over, I have it in a way where it resets and it actually will reconnect. That shouldn't be an issue. That was the easiest way to do it. I've tested it on every console. It didn't seem to be an issue. Even if it stopped the game, you just press it. Even if you're playing in a tournament, you should be okay because you're at the title select screen and you just push all the buttons, and who cares if it disconnects? No one's gonna care. In the middle of the game you care, but it's not gonna happen. That's the only note. So, any more questions? I think I answered pretty much all of them.
Answer between two.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just play Tekken. Let's play Tekken. You'll see me get my ass handed to me. Yeah, Yoshi is calling. and then like after seeing like 2, 3, maybe 4 matches, if I get like all fired up, I'll close it out. And then if you notice something weird, you can ask about it, or if you have like a question come into your head, just let me know. Right now I'm using the Butter Bomber case. I have a second board in here.
How's the volume?
Because I didn't want to like build a case in front of you guys. Yeah, how is the volume? Is it like too loud? Disconnected? Ah, there it is. Uh-oh, not working.
Why? Should I unplug you?
Yeah, unplug it. There we go. I know, right? I was like, after the Mozilla Firefox crash, which is funny, it happened at the moment where you would see the board working for the first time. So people were like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He just tried it. They're faking it. So, yeah, if the audio is too loud, let me know.
I'm gonna test it.
It should be okay. Actually, I don't think they can even hear the audio now.
No?
No, you gotta unmute it. Because it's...
No.
No, desktop audio. No, you can hear it on the TV.
Oh.
But you can't hear it on the,
Oh, how do I?
just function unmute.
Yeah, I got it.
That works? I think so, anyway. Do you see,
Let me...
Oh, yeah, it does work.
Yeah?
Yeah, it does work. Yeah, it works. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Let's give it a shot. And you know what? We'll even go online. And don't let those wins fool you. There's a lot more losses. Like, at least 10 times more losses. It works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Man, it's the same guy. Alright, one more time. If you happens to connect again, we'll play him. I just hate lag. I can't do it. I'm so spoiled. Everything has to be wired. Oh man, I got greedy, I got Wi-Fi. We're gonna just do it. We're just gonna do it. I'll just blame it on the Wi-Fi if I lose. Oh man, it's Heihachi too. Heihachi's not easy to fight. And it's like 35 wins, maybe he's a smurf, I don't know. S plus, aggression, he's made my ass handed to me. Oh shit, cool costume too. Oh shit. Greedy, greedy. Oh man, this guy's like scary. Oh man, dude, this guy's patient as hell. Alright, we're getting good, we're getting good, we're getting good. Oh man, this guy has my number. Oh man. Oh dude. Not good, not good. Alright, we try again, we try again. We try again. Revenge. For one match, maybe like 3 more. Oh, dude, the guy actually wants to play. Usually after like kicking someone's ass, people don't want to play again. Like, that guy's a scrub. But I don't know how it seems for you guys. I don't know if it's lagging on your end for the stream. I haven't really ever seen a game before.
Round 1. Fight.
pissed.
Round 3. Fight.
Ooh, kill with style. Alright, see? It's like the same thing. He wins 2 at 1-1. Wow, I got pissed. Dude, he was pissed. He was so pissed. Alright, alright. Let's do 2 more matches. Let's do a different guy. Because that guy is way better than me. And that sucks. And thanks for following. Oh, is it Big Red Pip? Not too sure follow, but thanks.
Got hungry.
What do you eat? Yogurt? Ah. You hosted me? What the heck? And you come in now? Have you always been here? I don't know if you heard the whole the whole presentation. See, the cooler the costume people have, the more I'm afraid of them. Aww.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh my god. Wow. Talk about pissed. Oh my goodness. That guy's pissed.
Round 3. Fight.
That's it. Just got here, had to eat and take care of things. Oh. Well, you pretty much hit the end of the presentation where I get to get my ass kicked on stream. But you can see, like, it works. It just doesn't work in my hands because my hands are just not good enough.
Round 1. Fight.
Jeez. Wow. Now that was
Round 2.
some close crap.
Fight.
guy's good, man.
Round 3.
Robbed. Maybe. Oh, patience.
Round 4. Fight.
Oh man, dude, the guy fell for it twice. Alright, maybe I can win with this board. Alright, so worth it. If I lose it, I'm coming out there with pitchforks and torches. No, it's possible. You can win with it. Look, see? It's possible. This is the way. It's possible. Look, and you'll get tons of revenge matches. So we'll make this the last match. Because I don't want you guys just watching me play Tekken. This sounds weird, right? Who would watch people play video games? I mean, it's like the whole platform for that, right? Nah, I'm just joking. I mean, next time I can come on stream with in a bathtub. I could do a bathtub stream. Do you guys want that? And then I give dating advice like some streamers. Wow. Yeah, that's super careful.
Round 2. Fight.
Whoa. Dude, that guy's pissed. Wow. Honestly, this guy was not having it. He was so mad that he lost. Ooh! I gotta read the comments in a bit. Wow, that guy was pissed. The guy was so mad. Look at him. So we're on a tie, right? Huh? We're on a tie. We'll leave it at a tie. I'm not gonna give the guy a satisfaction of beating me again. That's it. Me and him are even. So that's it. So let's just how do you close this out?
Just
Just mute it again. Just mute.
I got it.
Alright. Hot tub stream, solder stream. Didn't get demoted. Dude, honestly, I get demoted and promoted every time I play, at least 5 times up, 5 times down, and I feel like I haven't gone anywhere. It's so... I got to like 15 down, and honestly, it just feels like I'm just spinning my wheels. But I gotta play more consistently, I think. BBG bathwater sales through the roof. Honestly, I should do it one day. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, with each ZKO, it should come with a BBG bathwater. Maybe. That's disturbing. I don't know if I could do that. But maybe. If people request that, I guess I have to do what people say, right? That's just the way it is. Yeah, that's it. So I think I'm just gonna play Tekken the rest of the night, and then, after that, try to get a pre-order page up with Steph, and then I'll let everyone know. Don't forget, if you want to get notifications, go on our Discord, go to the Rolls channel, react, and just sign up. And as soon as the pre-order page comes up, we'll collect whatever purchases we have, and then what I'll probably do is we'll probably just whatever funds we get, we'll do like a rolling kind of purchase. So let's say we get enough money to buy the boxes for ZKO, the cardboard boxes we're going to use. We'll buy a bunch of those and we'll just update people. Boxes are in. Same thing with stickers. We'll say, hey, stickers are in, like, these little guys. We'll do like a rolling kind of thing. And then we'll buy the parts. We'll probably just buy enough for 50, to be honest. Or a little more, right? And then as sales come in, we'll just accommodate those. I kind of want to order the boards mid-January because the board house that I use is overseas, and Chinese New Year's around the corner, and when that comes around, everything shuts down. So I don't want to be stuck in limbo at all. Yeah. I mean, I could use a U.S. board house, but the U.S. board house would make the board probably like $200, which is no good. Good stuff, man. Can't wait to check things out. Yeah, you're definitely like right now the only person for like #1 testing because you have a board on your way. I don't think it came to you yet. I think it's still on the UPS truck. So yeah, test out all the functions. Test out everything you can. Trying to make it kind of fire. That'd be great. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, the home button, for some reason when I pressed it on the way I had it configured before, it would freeze the controller or disconnect it. Since then, obviously it didn't happen here, right? It would just stop in the middle of the game. I had to reconfigure it for an auxiliary input. So you could do that, or you could just hook up the touch button and just use it as a shift button for X input if you really want to. Just don't touch the home button if it reads on you. Just reset it and just don't touch it and just use all the other features until you get it reworked, or until I give you a reworked one, or you just are okay with shift buttons. Yeah, because your input's gonna be really, really valuable. And after you kind of just go through everything and see how it works out, I can start hammering out the API to take information, because right now it just kind of gives information for the expansion port. You can read button inputs and stuff like that, but you can't really send information to the board yet. So if you wanna, when you get to that point, I'll figure out a better way for the API. I kind of want it closed, like a closed loop, where you would send like a command to take it over, and then it would listen to that peripheral. So for example, let's say you want to control it, it would say, alright, you want to control the direction inputs. I would make a command for that, and then after each loop, you would wait for me to say I'm ready, you send the information back, I'd give you an okay, and then it loop again. I don't really want it interrupt based, because if somebody kind of over interrupts, it might mess things up. I also feel like I have less control that way, so we'll see. We'll talk it out in the Goose server. For sure, we gotta come up with a better scheme, because once this API is like in, I kind of don't want to change it too much. Just update it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's recording still. It's an hour and 45 minutes. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. Thanks for all the questions. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to we can't wait to release it to everyone else that wants it. Hopefully it'll help grow it, and then we can move on to the next control board, because I don't know. It's just really cool to do. It's really fun. So, and it feels great playing on your own hardware, like the control board. It just, I don't know. It's just something about it. It feels nice. All right. So good night, everyone. Take care.